Yeah, absolutely. And the more they do it, the more aggressive I'm going to be. Like you said, I'm doing 7 hours of radio today. I'm doing 7 hours of radio tomorrow. I'll be here this weekend working on my next project. I mean, we have to engage these guys full force if we want victory. And, I had some encouraging callers. Bill in Wisconsin really took, this movement into his own hands. He ran for local government. He made changes locally. There is so much people can do. He just did a big screening of the Obama deception. People are handing that out in droves.
That's the thing that frustrates me, is that I have engaged in the info war. I have caught people engaged in bribery and single-handedly with, that is the locals here in Austin have single-handedly defeated gun bills. We've thrown out the Patriot Act in so many cities. I mean, we've done so much. There's hundreds of things we've done. Anytime we take the field, anytime we take action, anytime we stand up and fight back, we win. But people have this spell on them that they can't fight back. Well, listen, I want to get into some economic news in the next segment, and that's when we're going to cover that. Heads up to the folks of the network. But right now, I want to play this video, this audio. This is a video press release put out by Her Lordship, Jackie Smith, over in England. This is the person that says, if they don't like your behavior, criticizing immigrants, you will be arrested. Remember, Robin Page arrested, BBC presenter, for just saying rural communities deserve the same rights as, quote, Muslims and homosexuals. BBC arrested. I can give hundreds of other examples, but there's one right there. Total secret police has nothing to do with loving the liberals and loving black people and loving the gays. It's all a way to sell the left on going along with tyranny. And we all know about Michael Savage. I heard saying he can't come to the country, and Europe's arresting people that are criticizing the EU. Ministers are being fired. This is really happening. This is tyranny, folks. When they start trying to restrict your free speech and your First Amendment, and then we have this other bill separate from the hate speech bill. It's lying there on your desk. I forget the number.
Yeah, the Cyberbullying Prevention Act. It's right next to me, and it makes some really just ludicrous.
What's the bill number on that?
Yeah, I do. It's 1966.
Okay, so my point on that is this, and then I'm going to leave and you can cover it, Bermas. The point is that openly says it's the same thing in England and Europe. If someone says what you said hurt their feelings, then you're arrested. And that's what she says in these different press conferences that she's been giving. She says, if it hurts somebody's feelings or it could upset someone and cause a fist fight, it's illegal, it's a felony. And that's what the Cyberbullying Prevention Act says. It says a federal felony if you hurt someone's feelings. So you should read that later. But here's the bottom line. Here's a clip of her, because this integrates in with the attack on free speech, and I'll explain why if we play the clip. Here she is saying, hey, you already got to show your power bill or your grocery bill or whatever with your ID for government, identification. We're already snooping and tracking everything you're doing. So go ahead and capitulate to a national ID card, which England has resisted for decades. That's one of the few things they fought there. We already have it here by stealth through the local driver's license and ID. I told people that under the executive order back in the 90s. It's now public. Oh, yes, it's called the Real ID Act, already standardized globally to a global standard under a 2000 treaty signed in Australia with the United Nations. And, of course, the U.S. and others are signatories. So we're already under a world ID. They're just standardizing it all. And she tries to say in this tape, this audio video, she tries to say it's no big deal. She says this is the same thing as just having to show your power bill with your ID, and this will make it simpler. This will have less data about you. This will give you more privacy. Ladies and gentlemen, she says we want your digital fingerprints and face scan. She says, well, we've already taken digital photos of you. So she's now explaining now what the feds have said, what the big biometric conferences have said, what the Pentagon has announced, what the standardization under UN law states, is that to buy and sell, you will face scan and or thumbprint. And they're now saying, trying to standardize it, we have to do both for double authentication. Now, folks, right out of Revelations, but even if you're an atheist, come on, big government making you thumbprint and face scan to buy and sell. So the hand and the face, it's a digital number. Let he who hath reckoning, understanding, let he who have wisdom reckon the number of the beast. It's the number of a man. They explain with biometrics, it digitally calculates the features on the face, the separation of the fingerprints, and it creates a number of the man, your digital algorithm. But regardless, this is going to be used for total tyranny, and what they've stated at Homeland Security, what England and Europe has said, what China already does. If your national ID card is out of favor, if you haven't paid all your taxes or you're out of favor, it's just turned off. And then your digital photo, your digital thumbprint, your card, you cannot buy or sell any type of underground economy, having garage sales, selling your car to your neighbor for cash, all illegal. It is all going to be felonies. They have announced all of this, ladies and gentlemen, and so they roll it out like, oh, it's no big deal. It's for your identity. It's for your protection, when it's the government that's gone to all these number systems and big banks and others that are always getting caught selling to other people your data that caused this. So listen to how this witch sells this, and notice the key here. Notice the key to all of this. Notice how she is separately saying, if you criticize the government, speak out against immigrants, do anything we don't like, if your behavior isn't what we want, birthplace of the Magna Carta, we are going to have you arrested in England and barred from coming into England. This is the global system. No traveling, no buying food, no having a house, no having shelter. And then if you try to be homeless worldwide, they're setting this up, they take you to FEMA camps, just like Governor Schwarzenegger's doing, where you're basically prisoners. So here is the audio of the same witch that's totally banning free speech in England and arresting people en masse for free speech.
Alex, we're going to have to go to that on the other side. We only got 30 seconds in this segment, but she also says at the end of that clip, and we'll play it on the other side, that 70,000 people are already going to be taking it by the end of the year, whether they like it or not. And she does advertise it like it's the best thing since breakfast. We'll be back after this.
This is like the no-fly list.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And this is the same woman that's banning 16 people from the country, and they're not naming who 6 of those people are.
By the way, she's just setting the precedent with that. She's setting the precedent with that.
All right, we'll be back after this. It's the Alex Jones Show.
The good old folks at New Silver Solution. And the website is supernaturalsilver.com. Supernaturalsilver.com. This is something that kills bacteria, viruses, you name it, well documented. They've got it down to super small, nano-sized particle. Supernaturalsilver.com. Check them out at Infowars.com. Supernaturalsilver.com.
All right, folks, we are back. It's the Alex Jones Show, and let's go to the man himself, Alex Jones.
Oh, please, Bermas, come on. The man himself. Okay, we got some economic news coming up in the next segment, and then we've got Senator Brogdon coming on, where they're bypassing the governor, who is a globalist, who's, I guess, trying to stop what they're doing in Oklahoma. I mean, that's the details I got on the road, but we'll find out the specifics from him coming up. Or perhaps the governor's going to help. I don't know. We'll find out the details. But also, clearly giant NATO drills in Georgia, then claiming that the Russians were trying to stage coups with military groups, then no evidence. That's going on. Obama says trillions more for the banks, for the bankers, and all of that is going on. So that's coming up with Jason Bermas. But look, we'll play this clip. The point here is there's 1,100,000 Americans on the no-fly list. And it's always getting bigger. They're always adding new people. This is about training you that you don't travel unless they say so, and also being guilty without ever even being charged or tried. They just say, well, the database says you're a terrorist or you may be a terrorist. Now under the Patriot Act, they have giant criminal databases with more than 4 million people on them who have no criminal convictions. So this is the new system where citizens will have to have ID cards to have jobs worldwide, but then illegal aliens are always exempted from it, as they've done with the national ID card and the bailout money and the rest of it. So listen to this lady when she's talking about this as they force the British, because all this goes hand in glove. Secret police, spying on the parliament without warrants. The NSA spying on Congress without warrants. It's the illegitimate national security government in the U.S., in England, and Europe that works for the private banks that is literally circumventing the elected parliaments, the legislatures, the Congresses, as the John Warner Defense Authorization Act and others say. The governors are now under federal control in the U.S. Same thing with what's happening in England. This is an illegitimate coup. This is an illegitimate takeover so they can financially loot us and then carry out their eugenics on us. And we must fight the national ID cards, the Real ID Act, because it's going to be used where you can't travel, you can't buy and sell. That is their stated goal, and they're already implementing it. So, look, there's already thousands that can't go into England that we know of. They already sit there and check you when you go in. Canada already has has my name on the list. Everybody gets stopped, whether it's David Icke or George Galloway. I mean, everybody I know basically isn't allowed into Canada, run by the same people. So this is already here. It's like Nazi Germany, how you couldn't get out without your papers, then they grab you at the border. It's the same thing. And then the U.S. wouldn't let people leave Germany and come to the U.S. That's a big dirty secret. Neither would England. So again, here is the witch. Here is the would-be tyrant.